Hello, my name is Elliot. I'm a business development analyst here at Synology UK, and today's webinar will be on discovering DSM7 and C2 SaaS service. Give me a moment. In today's webinar, we'll be first looking into a retrospective, looking back at the past few decades of computing trends to further illustrate the importance of the features that we'll be covering over today in both DSM7 and Synology C2. And then we're going to be diving right into some of our new features within DSM7, and we're also going to be covering some new services that we have coming to Synology C2. So first, let's have a brief view of the evolution of computing trends over the past 4 decades, from centralized mainframes dominating the scene to the rapid growth of microcomputers in the 90s. The world has witnessed a complete decentralization and the rise of personal computers. And today, cloud computing has thrived for over a decade, and the world is set to witness another transition of focus from centralized cloud computing to edge computing. So edge computing has come into center stage for one reason: the sheer quantity of data generated by edge devices. According to Gartner, 75% of global data will be coming from edge by 2025. On top of that, volume, data security, compliance, and latency, and even management costs are all matters of consideration where the cloud might struggle to cope. Think about sending petabytes of data from end devices to the cloud for storage, computing, processing. The cost and efficiency, data security, and the compliance issues that might arise from doing processes such as these makes the cloud a unviable option. On the other hand, Synology solutions still provide a perfect answer to this challenge. A storage server that is designed from day one to manage and process massive amounts of data at the edge as an edge node. Efficient, low cost, minimize the risk for data transfer or leakage or any breach of compliance. Is the perfect companion for edge computing. DiskStation Manager is at the core of Synology technology. Today, DSM 6.2 is over 8 million installations, and every month more than 6 million applications are downloaded onto DSM via our package center. And this year, we're expected the sales of Synology NAS servers to go over 1.5 million head units, not including our expansion units or any of our accessories. So in the past 3 years, the development of DSM7 has focused on 2 aspects. First, fulfilling end user requirements, which is the requirements around security, functionality, reliability, and management. And we've added hundreds of functional improvements and millions of functional verifications to make DSM7 our most useful and reliable OS to date. Secondly, DSM7 will introduce deeper integration with cloud services to further maximize service offerings. DSM7 is our first major update to DSM since DSM 6.2, and the new features we'll be covering today really highlight how far DSM has come and exactly how it cements our solutions for the rise of edge computing. We won't be able to cover every new feature as part of DSM7 in our session today, but we will be looking into some of our highlight features as well as our brand new C2 cloud services as well. So first, let's dive into some of those new features that make up DSM7. So with DSM7, we've worked hard to build a new cloud infrastructure for users to utilize new services, such as Active Insight and Hybrid Share, along with improving the demands for large storage, improved security, and having better ways to connect with distributed teams. The rate of data increase a business is expected to make is over 40% per year, and at Synology, we're focused on satisfying the increasing demands with over 1 million installations of our enterprise storage solutions around the world, with more choosing Synology each and every day. As mentioned, with the release of DSM7, we're introducing solutions to these challenges, from real-time monitoring of your NAS environments with Active Insight, improving security against data breaches with secure sign-in, increasing the capability of your cross-site file sharing with Hybrid Share, and also improving the capacity of your solutions with peta volumes. Firstly, let's take a look into our solution addressing real-time monitoring and identity security, which we call Active Insight and Secure Sign-in. So now we all enjoy the convenience that our NAS environments bring to us. However, it can be time consuming for remote and local IT teams to continually monitor large NAS infrastructures. So our answer to this is Active Insight, which is a cloud-hosted intelligent management platform. Active Insight allows you to monitor your entire NAS environment globally in real time with performance and diagnostic data, meaning that global enterprises can now simply log into Active Insight via a web ID or simply via their phone and very easily see all of their NASs within their NAS environment in one simple place with all of the relevant diagnostic data. Active Insight also provides useful intelligence, including health statistics of all of your NASs in your environment, and can also provide actual advice to help solve small problems before they become much larger issues. So with Active Insight, taking care of device health and monitoring, we also needed a new way to approach authentication security. According to a recent survey, 61% of data breaches are caused by password leaks. So we needed another solution that replaces the traditional login details to improve the security of our devices. This is where secure signing comes in, offering more secure multi-factor authentication while also being easy to use and remember the need to remember a long list of passwords for each of your NAS devices. Secure sign-in allows you to sign in to approve sign-in requests via your phone or with USB-T FIDO2 or UTF security keys. So now we're going to dive into a demo and show off exactly how Active Insight and Secure Sign-in can work together to secure the health and security of our NAS environment. So once we have Active Insight open, we can see neatly organized and detailed cards representing Synology storage devices deployed across our offices. Health performance statistics will be displayed, including CPU and memory utilization, stuff like drive performance and storage usage as well. So as we can see at the top of our screen, we have an event prompt on our NAS in our Japan office. Active Insight is also capable of sending notifications to your phones about notifications to an app on your phone about events as well. So you don't have to worry about signing into the UI to surely see these. So what we can do is we can head on over to our events tab and we can see exactly what's happening. So we can see that we have a new critical event with some information regarding the event that occurred and the product model. And now what we can do is we can go and look at that event in more detail. So we can see that one of our volumes have been degraded, as well as some helpful troubleshooting advice as well. So one of our drives has gone wrong and we need to replace it. So identifying these root causes quickly and effectively can reduce the anxiety of any of our local IT teams. So now what we need to do is start fixing the problem by signing onto that device. We can do so very easily by clicking on that shortcut in the top right, which will take us directly to that NAS's sign-in portal, where we can now sign in to the NAS using the secure sign-in app on our phone. So secure sign-in can completely replace passwords or add an extra layer of security with two-factor authentication. Windows Hello, Mac OS, Touch ID, or compatible USB security keys can all be used to help us sign into the device. So after you've confirmed your account name, a push notification can be sent to your phone, and then all you need to do is open up the app on your phone, tap approve, and then you'll be able to log in directly to that NAS. And then there we are, right into DSM7, nice and easy. And now we can go about diagnosing the issue with our storage volume, sorry. So if we go to our storage manager, we can see that our hard drive 2 has unfortunately degraded. And now all we need to do is obviously plug out that drive, plug a new one in, and then rebuild our storage pool itself. Another useful feature that we have in DSM7 to actually make this process a lot easier is the ability to enable auto repair. So all you would need to do is have your local IT team pull out the faulty drive, plug in a new one, and then DSM will take care of the entire repair process for you without any additional intervention required. So DSM will do the rest of this process for you. Awesome. So now let's look into hybrid share, which is perfect for enterprises with NAS deployments across different locations that need an easy file sharing system that optimizes storage and bandwidth. So companies typically use traditional server-to-server architectures to constantly synchronize share folders between headquarters and branch offices, which will require ample upstream bandwidth. As companies grow, there will be more branch offices as well, which could cause the headquarters to have insufficient bandwidth and hardware resources to keep the synchronizing files at the same speed and quality it was before. So hybrid share solves these problems by shifting the bulk of the synchronization process directly to C2, mitigating the need for direct data transfers between branches. Setting up a NAS as a main synchronization center is no longer necessary, which solves any kind of bandwidth or any kind of hardware overload concerns that we might be worried about. Users can download files from the cloud at any given time, while recently retrieved files can be cached locally on the local NAS in that area to ensure quick and easy access. So syncing on demand saves bandwidth and storage space, while also allowing even smaller devices to access very large repositories. C2 Hybrid Share also provides greater scalability, delivering quick and easy syncing as your enterprises grow. In a traditional setup, the entire file sharing system would collapse if your synchronization center fails. But with Hybrid Share, as C2 has become our new synchronization center, this isn't an issue. C2 has a high availability and redundant architecture, providing companies with the assurance that they need to rely on C2 as their main synchronization location. Overall, Hybrid Share is a reliable and secure file synchronization solution that empowers scalability and saves on bandwidth costs. So now we're going to dive right into a demo on Hybrid Share and show you exactly how easy it is to use and exactly how easy it is to add additional NAS devices to our Hybrid Share folder as well. Awesome. So here we have a NAS that stores our data from our Synology headquarters. So what we're going to do is we're going to share data from our latest Synology event with all of our subsidiaries. So first to do this, all we need to do is head on over to FileStation and locate our Synology 2021 event files. And then once we found them, all we need to do is copy them to the folder on the left-hand side, which is called Hybrid Share, which is indicated by a cloud icon. You can put any files in here and they will be uploaded directly to the cloud, directly to C2. And then just like that, we've shared these files with our global offices. It's powerful, yet very simple to use. So now what we're going to do is we're going to head on over to a NAS which is located with our American team, and we're going to check that they have access to these files via Hybrid Share. So to do this, all we need to do again is go over to our file station, head on over to our Hybrid Share folder, and as we can see, the folder is there ready for them to utilize all the information there as well. A nice and handy feature of Hybrid Share, and when you actually go to download any of these files locally, if we go to refresh within our file station right now, we can see that that file was actually cached locally. So if we need to access that file again at any given time, it's much quicker to download and transfer across. So now what we're going to do is we're going to set up a new Hybrid Share folder on our NAS in our Japan office. To do this, all we need to do is head on over to our control panel, head on over to our share folders and mount a new Hybrid Share folder. And all we need to do here is follow the Setup wizard, and what we're going to be doing is we're going to be linking our existing Hybrid Share folder that is available, that we can access via our headquarters and our NAS in the US, and give our NAS in Japan access to it as well. So all we simply need to do is follow the on-screen wizard, grant it access to C2 storage, choose our Hybrid Share, choose the Hybrid Share folder we've already been using, press OK, and then we have some additional steps that we need to take as well. So all we're going to do here is plug in the encryption key that we have for C2. Next, we have some basic permissions that we'd like to set up as well. And then here we can also configure a local cache policy as well. So as I mentioned earlier, when you go to download local files locally via your Hybrid Share folder, they will actually be cached locally in your machine. And here you can actually specify the reserved amount of local cache that you'd like to give as well. So if your NAS is obviously dependent on doing its own kind of backup features locally within its own office, you can very easily specify any kind of amounts of storage that you'd like to dedicate right here. Then once all that's done, all we have to do is press done. We can head on over to our files. We can head on back over to File Station, and we can see if our NAS in Japan has access to those files. Awesome, there we have our Hybrid Share folder, and there we have our event folder right there, ready for us to utilize, and we can very easily drag and drop new files directly into here as well. And yeah, essentially enable mass cross-site sharing very simply and very easily utilizing Hybrid Share. So as I mentioned at the start, worldwide data has grown exponentially, and to add to that, 90% of all data was only created in the past 2 years. So storing and managing all of this data is obviously a huge challenge for every enterprise. Imagine a data volume is like a box that you can only store up to 200 terabytes of data. And before it reaches its limits, IT admins need to go through the process of moving some data to another box. This data could be cold data that we rarely often use, or hot data that is in constant usage. IT admins will typically choose to move cold data, but this requires a lot more effort because the data is often scattered everywhere. So to solve this, we've developed PetaVolume, a cost-effective solution for data-critical environments that deliver petabyte-size storage. Enterprises can now centralize all of their data without having to move it around as often. At Synology, we've also adopted PetaVolume to meet our own growing storage needs. So our own data grew by 35% in the past year. Those with keen eyes will notice that we did have a slight decrease with our data due to a data clear out, but our data is actually still growing at the exact same rate. So, and with more exponential growth on the way, we expect to reach 1 petabyte ourselves within the next 7 years. So if we take this 35% expansion rate per year into account, PetaVolume has helped us delay the need for this migration by 7 years, giving our teams more opportunity to focus on other important tasks. So let's quickly summarize all of the new solutions that we've covered within DSM7. We've been over Active Insight for effective monitoring of multiple NASs within our NAS environments. We've been over Secure Sign-In for safe and easy login methods that also ensure privacy. We've been over Hybrid Share for cost-effective and secure cross-site file sharing. And we've also been over PetaVolume for a budget-reducing data storage and management solution. Next, let's dive right into our new products and our new offerings coming to Synology C2. So Synology C2 is our own dedicated cloud platform. We engineered to provide our customers with highly integrated services designed to augment their already existing on-prem solutions. Last year, we saw a 50% growth in customers with C2, alongside with a 70% growth in C2 storage purchased by those users. This year, we're going full force into the cloud market and expanding our C2 services to scale up to 200 petabytes by the end of the year. So while we might be considered a late entrant into the cloud market, we definitely came prepared, using our knowledge and expertise from over 2 decades of data management experience. So our approach mirrors the strategy that we have in our NAS and our SAN lineup. So hardware and software must come together to provide a tightly integrated solution in order to maximize the benefits and competitiveness for our users. Today, we'll be diving into 4 new services that we'll be rolling out on our C2 platform. And the first being C2 Backup, which is our new device and SaaS backup service. We have C2 Identity, a new identity and directory service. We have C2 Transfer, a dedicated file transfer solution specifically designed with security in mind. And we also have C2 Password, a credential and account management service for everyone. So before we dive into each product, why exactly is Synology expanding heavily into the cloud services? Well, Synology, we are typically known for our on-prem data management solutions. So our design philosophy has always emphasized a good balance between easy to use, versatile, and delivering a robust and dependable IT solution to both our business and our personal users. So C2 Storage was our first step into the cloud market, providing a secure and dedicated storage destination for Synology devices. So today, with our new suite of C2 services, is designed better to address IT and data management challenges affecting both our individual users and our global businesses as well. So let's dive right into C2 Backup. So backing up and securing data is something that many of us know is important, but much like exercising regularly or eating healthily, it can often be overlooked and forgotten, or only done once every so often. So with C2 Backup, protecting Windows PCs and Microsoft 365 services is made extremely simple. Business users will also have the option to back up their Windows servers as well. So deployment is quick and easy with no additional hardware needed. And in today's increasingly distributed environments, there's no need to worry about bandwidth limitations at the office or having to deal with any VPNs when utilizing C2 Backup. So C2 Backup will come in 2 plans, designed for personal users or for businesses. Both will enable users to completely protect their Windows-based PCs, accompanied by flexible retention policies and faster restoration options as well. So let's take a brief dive into C2 Backup. So C2 Backup leverages the same incremental backup technology as our Active Backup suite, which means each successful backup copy will only contain new or changed data, which greatly increases storage and bandwidth efficiency. So on our management portal, we can see a list of devices that we have protected. Let's take, for example, the devices that we use for the purposes of this demo. If we choose to, we can very easily back up that device right now. And then once that backup is taken place, it will only upload new changes that we've made to this computer directly to C2. So users can also choose to restore an entire device or retrieve a specific file from a previous backup as well. Our timeline functionality, as you can see on the right-hand side, gives a great overview of all of the backups that have been performed on this device, and we can very easily skim through all of them to find the files that we need to locate. And we can even create and recover, we can even create recovery images to restore an entire computer should we need to. So when designing C2 Backup, we chose to adopt end-to-end encryption at every stage, meaning all uploaded data is completely private and only accessible to you via an encryption key. So that was C2 Backup, an easy way to keep your business endpoints protected. But what about managing them? Well, we have a solution for that too, which is C2 Identity. So as businesses grow, the more important it is to have a centralized identity management service. Having one set of well-managed credentials to access everything you need to get things done. This is not only convenient, but it can also help improve security. So since C2 Identity is primarily cloud hosted, it provides extra flexibility, which reduces integration issues with remote and online services. Typically, these issues are caused by complexities associated with traditional on-prem solutions, for example, Microsoft's own Active Directory. So C2 Identity tackles both on-premise and cloud-hosted services, including Windows, Mac, and Linux devices, as well as Synology NASs and Internet devices as well. So single sign-on support through standard SSO protocols also delivers a streamlined authentication process as well. So C2 Identity offers device management tools for connected Windows and Mac systems, helping IT teams easily define policy settings such as screen lock timers, deploying software, or even initiating remote data wipes if that device is stolen. So while traditional on-prem directory services are often locked to only allow local access, this isn't necessarily a concern for C2 Identity. Endpoint devices can connect securely to our C2 servers. So administrators will also be able to deploy local LDAP nodes using existing Synology NASs or Docker running an existing server, a feature that will be useful for internet device services that are blocked off from direct internet access. So this hybrid approach maximizes C2 Identity's flexibility while also requiring IT to drastically change their existing policies. So let's take a look at this in action. So let's say we have a new employee that we need to set up an account for. All we need to do is create that new account within C2 Identity and apply relevant permissions to that account. And then that that's done, all we need to do is assign that user directly to a device, and it's that simple. We can now sign in to that new device with the credentials that we just created. So all of these permissions and device management capabilities are synchronized to the device directly via C2 Identity. This allows admins to make changes and have most of them apply to the device almost immediately. So let's say we want to reset the password for that user that we've just added. We can easily do this via a few clicks directly in the console. So now, as you can see on the right-hand side, that user gets forcibly signed out, and a new password will be required. So updates to permissions and credentials will need the internet internet access so they can synchronize. However, devices managed by C2 Identity can still perform offline authentication to enable access as well. So we focus on building a secure platform when designing the cloud-based identity service. C2 Identity adopts secure remote password protocols to prevent any man-in-the-middle attacks, and no passwords or hash passwords will be transferred to C2 Identity during logging. Combined with other security by design functionality, we believe C2 Identity can help businesses better manage their devices and user credentials. Additionally, capabilities like single sign-on will also deliver a simple user experience for employees as well. So our C2 services are tailored around improving business operations with the utmost security. So C2 Transfer looks to solve an often overlooked part of IT, which is secure file transfers. So transferring files that reside on internal systems and devices which companies have control over is often not a problem. But what about when you would like to share and receive files from an external party? So it's fairly common practice for it's fairly common for internal systems to have data protection policies that restrict sharing to company accounts only. To get around this, personal accounts on emails, instant messaging, or public cloud services are commonly used to transfer files with external stakeholders. So these solutions are not necessarily secure and can be a headache for IT teams to track and manage. Furthermore, using these services can also come at the cost of come at the expense of having effective encryption, identity validation, management capabilities, and even things like setting file size limitations or expiry options. So C2 Transfer is specifically designed to solve some of these headaches. In contrast to standard sharing practices, we've ensured that files are only delivered to the correct person, and even if the links are accidentally sent to the wrong person. Sharing confidential files and documents or sensitive data is common between businesses, and keeping this data secure and in the right hands is paramount to this day and age. But this type of data is still frequently sent through email attachments, even when using a password protected link. These passwords are often shared in the exact same message. So if any of these links or passwords were to get leaked, it could obviously bring disastrous consequences. So let's have a look at the identity verification that we have on C2 Transfer. So C2 Transfer offers a simple multi-step process that mitigates most of these concerns. Say we want to send a document to one of our partners on C2 Transfer. Here you can see that all we need to do is set up the sharing options, such as a link expiry, and we can also include a watermark if we choose to. So one of the key differences is that C2 Transfer requires you to input the receiver's email address or phone number, which will be used for identity verification. So once again, C2 Transfer adopts the same end-to-end encryption, and the file is currently being encrypted client-side. So now that our file is ready to be shared, all we need to do is share that link in any which way we choose to, and let the recipient know that all they need to do is sign in via their email address, so that they can obviously confirm their identity. So if these files land in the wrong hands, this zero trust architecture makes it even more difficult for them to gain access, even if the links are leaked accidentally or sent to unintended recipients. This also works in reverse. So C2 Transfer makes requesting files easy and secure as well with the exact same method. The C2 Transfer portal also allows us to track past transfers to monitor documents that have been uploaded. So we believe this service will be extremely useful for all types of businesses and departments that routinely handle personal information or any sensitive files. So far, we've had a look into protecting devices and services. We've also looked into managing users and devices, and we've also looked into securing external file transfers. Finally, let's look into solving a long-lasting problem of unsecure and forgotten credentials found across all devices and services. Our solution to this is C2 Password. As you can see, the issue of credential management is still a very big problem today, with hundreds of thousands of users looking to reset their passwords each and every month. So a major reason for this is because many services require increasingly complex passwords. So we are often recommended to have different complex passwords for each one of these services, making it incredibly difficult to memorize passwords for each and every one. So this is often why we see people make slight changes to their password, such as simply adding in a digit, capitalizing letters, or even just simply reusing the exact same password. So we've done a lot of surveys on this, and while good password practices are generally known about, they aren't always put into practice in an effective way. So with C2 Password, we're introducing an easy way to do this. You can now store your user credentials for all of your services directly in C2 Password. So C2 Password even acts as a secure cloud storage for personal information like addresses, payment methods, and any important documents as well. So C2 Password will operate similarly to other password managers, but we are offering features that usually require extra fees. So let's show off C2 Password right now, and let's try ordering something online. So C2 Password works pretty much with any e-commerce site, but today we're going to be using Amazon as our example. So with the C2 Password extension installed in our browser, it allows us to automatically fill in our account name and our password details, and this will work with most websites. So as you can see in our cart, we currently have a little nifty 2-bay NAS, and what we're going to do is we're going to head on over to checkout, and we're going to go through the process of purchasing this device for ourselves. So many sites actually save your address and your payment details, but C2 Password keeps all of your information stored safely in a single place, which can then be automatically filled in via the extension in our browser. And it's as simple as that. So we can add a payment method and complete our purchase. So in addition to this, C2 Password also incorporates similar file sharing features that are seen within C2 Transfer, enabling you to securely store and share these documents with the right people. So C2 Password does not restrict the number of devices you can sync to and features the same end-to-end encryption that ensures that only users with the correct private keys can access their data. So we hope that more people will start adopting stronger password management policies, which will be further empowered by C2 Password. It's also going to be much more than that. We're also going to be looking to roll out additional capabilities that we have on our lineup and on our roadmap for your digital safe blocks in the future. So C2 Password is currently available completely for free via our website, via our C2 website. So we're extremely excited to be announcing this major expansion to our C2 platform. All of the new solutions are built using security-first principles and aim to solve real-world IT challenges by leveraging the best architectures, whether it be on-premise, hybrid, or cloud designs as well. So C2 Backup will simplify personal users and businesses protecting their data. Will simplify how personal users and businesses protect their devices. C2 Identity is a flexible identity and device management solution, with C2 Transfer tackling traditionally insecure data sharing methods, and C2 Password as our digital SafeBox solution, which is available for everyone. So we're making C2 not just a platform that complements our leading on-premise systems, but also as a powerful solution that widens the type of IT problems that we can solve. So one last bit of news I'd like to share with you all. To make our C2 service availability even better, especially in the APAC region, we're looking to invest and build our third data center in Taiwan this year, which will go alongside our existing German and American data centers as well, which will make C2 more available to enterprise and global customers. So to quickly wrap up, today we've been over new offerings in DSM7 with Active Insight and Hybrid Share, Secure Sign-in and Peta Volume, and we've also covered our new C2 services with C2 Backup, Transfer, Identity, and Transfer and Password. So I know that many of you will be asking when DSM7 will be out. DSM7 is actually currently available directly from our website. So what you can do is you can go to Synology.com, you can find your relevant NAS model, and you can go to our downloads. You can go to your downloads tab on the relevant page, and you could be able to download DSM7 directly from there. DSM7 is currently supported on all Plus series and below NAS devices, with support for our enterprise range coming very soon. Features such as hybrid share and secure sign-in are also currently in beta. Don't worry, we'll be double checking this afterwards, and we'll be sending any relevant links to any kind of sign-up pages or anything like that. So if anyone is interested, they can obviously feel free to try out themselves. And then with our C2 features, C2 Backup, Identity, and Transfer are all coming very soon, with C2 Backup looking to come around the start of Q4. And yeah, and C2 Password, as I mentioned earlier, is currently available. So if anyone wants to take a dive into that, then yeah, you can feel free, readily available for everyone to use. So I'd like to thank you all for joining in on our session today. If you have any questions, feel free to send any additional emails into uk_sales@synology.com.